choosing to leave behind everything in pursuit of their personal goals. Izayoi Sakamaki with strong psychic powers. Asuka Kudo, a rich young lady who has the ability, her gift authority, to command others with her words. She also has the ability to control other gifts and strengthen its power. Yo Kasakabe, quiet young girl who has the ability to speak to animals and use the abilities of any animal she's able to befriend. The three children with extraordinary powers each receive a mysterious invitation and are suddenly transported to a world called the Little Garden, where different races with different powers. There, they are greeted by a rabbit-eared girl known as Black Rabbit, making her a judge master that enforces rules and order due to being servants of the Little Garden's creator. She explains the place's logic to them. The Little Garden revolves around gift games that challenge players with games of varying danger while betting something in exchange for rewards if they win, with the rules written on G-scrolls that are absolute and unchanging. Black Rabbit also invites them into her own community of players. Making their way to a rural village in the east, Black Rabbit leaves Asuka and Yo with her community's leader Jin after noticing that Izayoi separated from them in search of fun. The water god is easily defeated by Izayoi, much to Black Rabbit's surprise. As the rest wait for Black Rabbit and Izayoi's return over some drinks, they are approached by a mysterious man. Asuka, Yo, and Jin are confronted by Galdo Gaspar, a beast man who is also the leader of a community named Forest Garo, and invites the girls to join his community along with Black Rabbit. To convince them, he makes fun of how Jin's community was forced to become a no-name after losing an undeniable challenge from the tyrannical demon lords of the Little Garden, resulting in the community losing their formal name and banner. This has left the remaining members to be Jin, Black Rabbit, and around 120 children with ages 10 and below, making winning their banner and name back difficult. At the same time, Black Rabbit, finding Izayoi after he defeats a water god, explains their situation to him in hopes the three can help. Izayoi, liking the idea to fight stronger opponents, and decide to agree. Asuka, suspicious of Galdo's claim that his community has won all gift games that involve staking their banner, Asuka uses her gift to command him to reveal how. It turns out that Galdo had kidnapped women and children from other communities to manipulate and blackmail people into doing what they want, however breaking his promises and killing them all off eventually. Infuriated, the girls challenge him to a gift game the next day. After Izayoi and Black Rabbit reunite with the others, the group visits Shiroyasha, a demon lord from the Thousand Eyes, an extremely large trade community, to appraise the children's gifts. Unlike others of her kind, Shiroyasha has chosen to use her strength for peace, becoming the floor master or guardian of the east side of the Little Garden. They decide to challenge her and brings a griffin to battle. Yo agrees to ride the griffin's back once around the lake of the game board. She talks with the griffin, saying that she would bet her life, and soon she was off, flying with the griffin. A sudden blow of wind hits them, and soon Yo remembers her memories of her and her father when she was in the hospital. When the griffin flies to the finish, Yo falls from the griffin's back, and her wooden carving gift from her father gives her the power to wake from consciousness and walks on the air with the newly acquired gift of the griffin. At the end, Shiroyasha, the three learn that they come from different times on Earth and earn gift cards that can store their gifts and list their names, with Izayoi stating unknown. By beating the water god, Izayoi receives an endless water supply from a water tree that he lets the no-names use. The girls use this water to bathe together, after which Asuka borrows a dress from Black Rabbit that adds an additional aura of protection to the wearer. That same night, Galdo's subordinates infiltrate the no-names territory, but are found out by Izayoi, revealing that all the hostages have already been killed, and claiming that Jin can defeat all the demon lords. Before sending them away, Izayoi asks them to spread news about Jin, claiming that his community welcomes anyone willing to overthrow the demon lords. Although Jin disagrees with the idea, Izayoi reasons that although the demon lords and other communities would attack them, the plan would gain them fame and communities who would be against the demon lords. When he criticizes some of their former members who betrayed no name, Jin tells Izayoi that a former demon lord and comrade is currently being bet as a prize for an upcoming gift game. Izayoi promises to save that comrade if Asuka, Yo, and Jin can win the gift game tomorrow. The next day, all of them are brought to Galdo's residence, which has been newly updated with a tangling creeper forest and beastification magic. However, because of the rules, the three are unable to use their gifts to fight Galdo. They must instead use a specific weapon. After being confronted by Galdo, who has turned into a demon tiger despite originally being a tiger that can assume human form, Jin determines from the surrounding magic to be of vampiric and demon nature, suspecting the involvement of another party involved. Recognizing their designated weapon to be a cross-sword speared in the wall, Yo distracts Galdo as Asuka orders Jin to run away alone first. however, accidentally dragging herself off after him. When Yo returns injured and collapses, Asuka returns to the residence, sets the place on fire and lures him out to the forest. Recalling how Black Rabbit had tutored her to use her gift in controlling others' gifts as well, she uses the creepers in restraining Galdo, commands the sword to give her its power, and kills him, winning the game. This causes all of his slaves to be freed, before Jin's vow to take down the demon lords, angering the vampire who cast the curse on Galdo. Meanwhile, an unnamed man with black and blonde hair arrives at Shiroyasha's place. While Yo continues to recover, Black Rabbit discusses with Izayoi about their next step to rescue Leticia Dracula, a pure-blood vampire who was the former demon lord and comrade Jin previously talked about. However, their conversation is interrupted by the vampire who assisted Galdo when Black Rabbit goes to make tea, who is none other than Leticia herself. She apologizes for causing them trouble as she only wished to know the level of the children's powers, but comes to the conclusion that their gifts are too basic to manage the community, and wants Black Rabbit to disband it as the gift game wagering her had been cancelled. Leticia's owner, the blonde-haired black-haired man at Shiroyasha's place named Luyos Perseus, decides to attack the no-names using a gorgon that can turn people to stone when hit by its rays. Leticia sacrifices herself to protect Asuka after Black Rabbit discovers she had lost all her divinity and become an ordinary vampire instead during a gift game with Izayoi. Members of Perseus's community, Perseus, are sent to retrieve her, and Izayoi stops Black Rabbit from attacking them, choosing to speak with Perseus instead at Shiroyasha's. After Leticia is taken away, Asuka, Izayoi, and Black Rabbit has a meeting with Perseus at Shiroyasha's place, and as Perseus takes an interest on Black Rabbit, he offers Leticia in exchange of she becoming his slave. Back at the community, she considers accepting his proposal, but as the others stop her, Izayoi appears with 2 rare items he obtained by himself. Instead of betting Black Rabbit on the line, they choose to challenge Perseus to a duel after Izayoi earns titles from winning against legendary monsters like the Kraken and Gree, which Black Rabbit uses to force Luyos to accept a gift game against the no-names with said items, and Leticia as the prize. The gift game against Perseus involves invading their fortress, and only those who can reach Perseus before being detected shall have the right to challenge him. However, the guards all have invisibility gifts from Hades' helm replica helmets, with Perseus himself holding Leticia's gifts. With those rules in mind, Izayoi comes with a plan of having Asuka distract most of the guards using the water tree while Yo accompanies Izayoi and Jin as they sneak past them. Yo helps Izayoi and Jin obtain one of the replicas, using her gift to defeat invisible enemies using the Hades helmet, and steal the real Hades helm using echolocation. The plan works and Izayoi and Jin find Perseus in a coliseum, beside Leticia, who is turned into stone. Instead of confronting them, Perseus unleashes his trump card, Algol the Gorgon, a former demon lord under his control, turning all outside the coliseum into stone and attacks Izayoi, who easily overpowered it with his strength and defeats it by destroying its gift with his unknown ability. Although Perseus admits defeat and letting go Leticia, Izayoi gives him a chance to fight back in a fist fight, raising the stakes of the game where Perseus has to wager their banner when they lose. He erases Perseus from being a part of the Thousand Eyes League, taking down their banner, the Perseus constellation, from the night sky. Leticia returns to the no-name community as a maid as gratitude for saving her. As they celebrate together, Izayoi vows to put their banner in the sky as well. As the no-names celebrate their victory, another letter from an unknown sender is seen on a table. Asuka remembers her days of confinement at a boring boarding school, where no one dared challenge her, prompting her to choose to enter the little garden. Waking up, they find a letter that Black Rabbit has been trying to keep a secret, an invitation to the nativity of the Salamandra festival at Salamandra, located in the northeast district of the northern region, in celebration of the coronation of their new leader, 11-year-old Sandra Dortley, who is also a friend of Jin. Finding out that there will be gift games involved, despite the high traveling costs, Yo, Asuka, and Izayoi run away to the festival with Jin and a little fox girl named Lily, leaving a note behind to Black Rabbit threatening to leave the community should she not catch them in a day, seeking Shiroyasha's help in getting to Salamandra. Soon after arriving at the northern region, the three are intercepted by a furious Black Rabbit who manages to catch Yo, as Izayoi and Asuka escape to the festival grounds as a chase begins. The two stroll through the streets and discuss having a harvest festival of their own, when Black Rabbit appears and manages to catch Asuka, and then chases after Izayoi. Drawing the attention of Standard, Izayoi challenges her to a gift game, where the winner is whoever manages to touch the other person first will be granted to make a request to the loser. After Izayoi brings down a building that leads the game to a draw, but all the commotion they cause brings the attention from the military policemen of Salamandra, led by Sandra's brother Mandra, arrive to confront them. Meanwhile, Asuka espies a lost fairy and decides to chase it, with Leticia following her closely. While with Shiroyasha, Yo is invited to participate in a gift game tournament known as Battle of the Creators, passing the preliminaries to advance to the finals. Since no one got hurt during the game between Black Rabbit and Izayoi, Sandra decides to let them go unpunished, to Mandra's disappointment in his hatred for the no-names. As an additional punishment, Shiroyasha requests that they protect Sandra by slaying the demon lord mentioned in the prophecy of the Laplace's demon. Meanwhile, Asuka gets on good terms with the fairy from a community called Rattenfang, going to an art exhibit, where she is amazed by an armor made by the community themselves. A gust of wind blows out every light, and Asuka spots rats. However, she is attacked by rats that she cannot control. They chase after her. While she is fighting them off, Asuka puts Rattenfanger in her blouse. As Leticia looks for her, she sees a lot of movement and goes to Asuka and save him from the rat. Since her gift of authority doesn't work on someone stronger than her, Asuka figures that someone is manipulating the rats and tries to become stronger, growing jealous of Izayoi and Yo's physical power. During a meeting, Shiroyasha lets Black Rabbit judge the Battle of Creators the following day. Upon announcement of the remaining participants' communities, Asuka is surprised to see Rattenfanger in the list beside No Name, Salamandra, and Will-O-the-Wisp. Shiroyasha explains that the Rattenfanger, the one who manipulates rats, is related to a community called the Pied Piper of Hamelin who once worked under a demon lord that summoned 200 demons, and led a community called Grim Grimoire which got disbanded after losing in a gift game. Jin further explained the relation of the Pied Piper to the Rattenfanger, detailing its history as being the same person since Rattenfanger is just a German word for Pied Piper. After figuring out its roots, everyone concludes that with the assistance of Rattenfanger, the demon lord of Grim Grimoire will attack at the nativity of the Salamander. As they dismiss their meeting, Shiroyasha cautions everyone to be on their guard for any spy from Rattenfanger and protect Sandra, making Asuka doubt the identity of the little fairy with her. The Battle of the Creators begins, where Yo is pitted against Ayasha from the Will-O-the-Wisp community, and their greatest gift, Jack-O-Lantern, much to Asuka's delight of seeing him for the first time. Faced with an immortal demon, Yo surrenders although she could ask someone for help from her community, not wanting to rely on others. Just then, black geese rolls start falling from the sky, inviting everyone to join a game. The aim of the game forces players to break the false knowledge and expose the true legend, as well as forming a barrier around Shiroyasha that prevents her from participating in the game. Above the arena are the members of the community, the Pied Piper of Hamelin. Izayoi, hoping to find their leader, randomly picks an opponent and ends up fighting Wesser, the embodiment of the Wesser River from the fairy tale. Leticia and Sandra also battle against Pest, a demon lord of the Black Plague in the story as Asuka, Yo, and Jin try to figure out the cause of Shiroyasha's inability to join the game. Ratten, the embodiment of the rats from the story, and the one who attacked Asuka in the art exhibit, gains control over the citizens of Salamandra using her flute. Asuka makes Jin and Yo run away, wanting to beat Ratten, but loses and is lost. As chaos reigns over Salamandra, Black Rabbit uses her authority as Judge Master to put the game on hold and ask both parties to have a meeting. The no-names try to confirm the details of the game from Pest, who is also the community leader and the game's host, but it is confirmed that the rules are fair and being followed due to the lack of details. While trying to find a schedule to resume the game, Pest reveals that she is spreading viruses over the city to sicken people, threatening the no-names to join their community Grim Grimoire of Hamelin if they want to live. Figuring out that this is a new community wanting more manpower, Izayoi bends the rules to allow Black Rabbit to participate in the game as well, postponing the game to a week's time. Meanwhile, Asuka is being held captive in a dark cave along with the little fairy. When she regains consciousness, the lost souls of the 130 children that died in the story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin appear, and asking Asuka to help them end the false myth of the Rattenfanger in exchange for their armor, Dean, if she can make it submit to her in a game. After 4 days, Yo and the citizens of Salamandra are feeling the symptoms of the Black Plague. Izayoi visits Yo in her room to help her lighten up her boredom, trying to find out the truth behind the fairy tale. Due to them all being summoned from different timelines, many things happened differently, but there would be some unchanged, although there would still be the question of whether the Pied Piper of Hamelin they are facing is the same story they know as the Black Plague is unable to kill the children in the story in a limited time, which creates a contradiction. Remembering that the Black Plague occurred in the 14th century after the Little Ice Age due to the weakening of the sun, and that Shiroyasha has control over the sun's activity. He realizes that the requirement for the game will not be met if she joins the game, since the Black Plague, which is a necessary part of the game, will not be able to occur when the sun is active. Izayoi also recalls the stained glasses describing the Pied Piper of Hamelin scattered across the town in the story. Following the riddle, they should break all the stained glass except for the one that depicts the true legend behind the Pied Piper. At the day of the game, Izayoi and the others scatter around Salamandra, breaking stained glasses of the false lore. The Grim Grimoire of Hamelin summons the village of Hamelin in a panic, changing the locations of the stained glasses and doubling their powers. Wesser, with his divinity activated, tries to take on Izayoi. Black Rabbit and Sandra fight, hand in hand against Pest, while Jin and the others fight against Rattan and the Stroms, her ceramic monsters. Just then, Asuka saves them with Dean at her command. Izayoi continues to fight against Wesser, the real Pied Piper of Hamelin, revealing that the Pied Piper of Hamelin appeared during the time the Black Plague was getting weak, and that the others were added later, modeled after Black Plague, ultimately provoking Wesser to fight and be defeated. Meanwhile, using Dean, Asuka battles against the Rattan Stroms and wins despite allowing her to play one additional song to control Dean. To buy time, Pest tells Sandra and Black Rabbit of her identity as the embodiment of the resentment and revengeful desire of the 80 million people that died from the Black Plague, wanting to have revenge on the sun, and hence Shiroyasha. Sensing her two comrades' death, her patience snaps, spreading a dark red wind of plague that kills anyone it touches. To stop her the never-ending flow of sickness, Black Rabbit transports the fighters to the Moon Palace, the Chandra Mahal, weakening Pest's power. Asuka commands the full potential of the Spear of Indra that Black Rabbit lent her to defeat Pest, thereby ending the game. After the battle, Asuka meets with the children, who tell Asuka of another interpretation of the Pied Piper of Hamelin. In the story, the 130 children left their parents' homes to follow the Pied Piper to a city where they would build their own community, the Rattenfanger. Deciding to return to their time, they leave her in charge of Dean and their 131st member, the little fairy that Asuka names Maron. In the Salamandra Palace, Izayoi confirms his claims to Mandra, that Salamandra had invited the demon lord Pest to the festival, staging her defeat, which can concrete Sandra's claim to her position as Salamandra spreads the news of their victory against the demon lord. With no excuse for the actions, Mandra lets Izayoi take his life in exchange that Sandra is kept unknowing, but Izayoi tells him that he would rather want Salamandra to be the first to aid them in their time of need instead. At the no-name community, everyone attempts to refertilize their land with the help of Maron and Dean. In the midst of happy work, a letter floats down before Izayoi with a mysterious seal on top. Thank you for watching till the end, and please don't forget to subscribe.